Ooh, that looks tasty.
What did the half-digested miner say? Has he made his way through my bowels?
Let's see, did he say, please don't digest me fully? This acid burns?
Scats all, folks.
That's not funny.
Welcome, folks, to the Hungry Gamers back with another Kickstarter preview, and today we are talking about So You've Been Eaten, designed by Scott Alms with art by Kwanchai Maria and published by Luda Creations, and I do apologize if I said any of those names incorrectly. Now, before I begin, please make sure you turn on your Klingon subtitles, because if I make any errors in the rules overview, that's where you'll find those corrections. Additionally, I do need to point out that this is just a prototype. Everything you see here is subject to change and most likely improvements. Now, the final disclaimer I have to make is this is very much an initial impressions. This campaign had already started when this game got sent to me, and I've played a few solo games, and that's all I've gotten to do. But I wanted to get at least my initial thoughts out there so you could check it out and go back it if you thought it was something that might be of interest to you. And finally, thank you to Michael Kelly from One Stop Co-op Shop and Mark Dainty from Not Board Gaming for helping out with today's voiceover introduction, the part they were born to play. So what So You've Been Eaten is it is a game for one, or even zero players. You can just run both the AIs against each other and see what happens. But for 1 to 2 players, in which one player is playing a miner that is inside the belly of a gigantic beast and is trying to mine crystals out of its intestinal walls to, well, make fat loots. And the beast doesn't like having something running around in its stomach. It doesn't feel good, so it is trying to either digest it or, at the very worst, poo it on out the other end and hopefully have more points. And as you can see, this is a very long board. We have the beast side over here and the miner side over here. And on the back of this side here, there's the solo miner side. In any event, if you're not interested in how this game is played, just want to jump into my final thoughts, then you want to go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk about how this game is played in the macro, because there are a lot of things that are slightly different depending on if you are playing solo as the miner, solo as the beast, or playing head-to-head with another player. But at its core, what's going to happen is, in the middle, there's going to be 7 cards laid out, and these cards represent the beast's digestive tract. And what's going to be happening is, and you'll see there's a whole big stack of them. And what's going to be happening is, on the miner's turn, they are going to roll 3 dice. And they will then use a dice placement mechanism over here to do one of 3 actions. They will either be over here stunning the beast, which will move these cards backwards and reorient them. You'll be eliminating bacteria, which means if you shoot a card and there's another card with the same type of bacteria next to it, like we have right here, they'll be eliminated, they go away, or you'll be capturing crystals. And as you can see, all the way over here, we have a couple of crystals, which means you'll be able to grab those and put them on your player board. The miner's going to win if they get all the crystals, and the beast is going to win if they ever get any of these bacteria all the way down to the bottom. That's kind of representing the bacteria attacking your miner and trying to take it down. And the other thing that you're able to do is you're able to upgrade these 3 actions to a more powerful ability, or you're able to spend one of your dice here to change another die to any other number and then play that as you wish. Now, that's actually pretty much it of what the miner does. Now, there is obviously more detail to it, but at its core, you're either going to be stunning things, which is going to allow you to adjust the digestive tract here, and then it will also let you change your dice a little bit. You're going to be blasting things, which will be getting rid of things out there that might be harming you, or you'll be grabbing crystals off the board, or if you have done an upgrade action, you might be grabbing tools out of the digestive tract as well, which are extra little bonus powers. However, on the beast side, they are going to be, if you are playing as the beast in solo or if you are playing as the beast in multiplayer, you're going to be placing out more cards into this digestive tract, because if you're playing solo as the miner, as they go away, they all slide down and there's a random dice roll that replaces more, and then they all just kind of fill back out at random. But if you are playing the beast, you get to choose what goes out there, and this is important because what you're doing is you're trying to make sure that the card at the front is the right bacteria, because whatever card's at the front is the bacteria that's going to be attacking and moving these bacteria counters down this track. In addition to that, you're going to be looking at these immune system responses, and these are going to give you even more powers that you're able to use if you're playing the beast. And it will give you different winning conditions, it will give you other bonuses, and so on and so on. And of course, the miner, if they've upgraded their eliminate blaster action, they can destroy your upgrades. And as you can see, it's kind of this back and forth head-to-head action that you're taking. But at its core, if you are playing the miner, you're doing a dice placement style game. And if you're playing the beast, you're managing your hand of cards, trying to make sure that the orientation or the order of those cards is such to where the miner is going to get hit over and over and over again. And that's it. Now, did I just fly through that? Yes. Was it very surface level? Absolutely. Mostly because, well, I don't want to take 30 minutes and explain all 3 different modes of the game, but I want you to kind of have the idea of what's going on is you are managing this digestive tract and what's in it and taking things out of it before the cards at the front can hit you and kill you. Now, there is also, as I said, the option of coming out the other end, which is if this deck runs out, that means you have come out the other end, and then there is a way that you score points. You score points for the most part based on how far down these tracks you have gotten. You get points for those, and then the miner gets points for however many crystals they have actually collected. But that's it. That's the game. So what do I like about this game? First off, I really appreciate the simplicity of this game. I know I always say that, but it is so simple. There's just not a lot that you have to do to play either one of these sides. But within that, there are so many choices. Just this dice placement action is just fantastic. You can place these dice wherever you want, with the exception of the upgrades down here. And it's just, there are so many choices. Do you want to try to grab stuff right now? Do you want to try to start out and just do a bunch of upgrades so you're ready to go and you're safe? Because if the beast attacks you enough and it gets far enough down, you're going to lose your upgrades. If you don't have any upgrades, you're going to lose one of your crystals. Or do you just want to try to go really fast and get those crystals as fast as you possibly can? Or do you want to go and spend time eliminating viruses that are out there, which might speed up the end of the game? Or maybe you want to spend your time eliminating these immune system response cards. And then when you're playing the beast, it's the same type of thing. You can rush the end of the game by pushing things forward and pushing things off the track so the miner can't get those crystals. Or you can spend time and try to put crystals out there, because by having crystals out there, you're actually able to get more and more of these immune response cards, which might help you win the game. But of course, you're putting more crystals out there, which lets the miner perhaps grab them. And it's delightful. It's just so very clever, and I've never actually played a game like it. The next thing I'll say is I enjoy the theme behind this game. It's weird, it's off the wall, and it even comes on into the rule book. It's also kind of wacky and silly and off the wall. I will also add that it even comes with a little dice tower here, which is not put together because it wouldn't look very good on my top-down shot. But it all just is really well thought out. The art is just cartoonish, kind of dark going on there, and it's got the little bacteria, which again are cartoonish, but really you're being eaten, and all of it is just, it's just fun and quirky and weird and strange. And I also really appreciate that both sides, whether you're the miner or the beast, seems like it plays really, really differently and really is a big challenge. I thought initially that the miner was going to be far more fun than the beast, and again, I've only played a few games. I've only had this for a little bit of time and I'm rushing to get this out, but they definitely both have their own challenges, and I can see different styles of gamer liking each side more than the other. But what I'll say is I really am looking forward to playing this head to head against somebody. I think that is an incredibly cool thing that it does, because as you're doing that, the fact that you are still playing pretty much the exact same solo game, except now someone is actively working against you, or maybe they're not working against you. But what are my quibbles about the game? The first one is, like with Under Falling Skies, it's a bizarrely sized game, and probably great for a two-player game, but you do kind of have that stretch across the table, and that's just kind of wacky and weird and strange. The next thing is, I don't know, and obviously, as I said, I've only played this game a few times. This is initial impressions. I don't know that there is a ton of replay in this box. I do wonder if you're not going to feel like eventually you figured it out, especially in the solo modes. Is there a way that you can just feel like, you know what, I've solved this? Perhaps that's not possible because of the randomness of the card and the randomness of the immune system responses. That is possible. I don't know, but I do wonder if that is possible, if you can figure that out, because there's not a lot of change going on other than the cards are going to come out differently each time that you play. Really, that's really it, folks. I think if you enjoy games like Under Falling Skies, and I'm using that as my main comparison because, well, probably because of the long board and you have kind of the dice placement down here, but when I play both sides, it does have that same puzzly feel to me. And I think if you enjoy that kind of game, and if you have someone else that you can play with who enjoys that kind of game, then I think you're really going to like this. Know that I am convinced that it is a game that I necessarily would back only to play solo, but maybe I would. And again, that's only because I've only had this game for a few days, so I don't quite know. But if you're going to be able to play this game solo and with somebody else, then I think this game will be a lot of fun. I think this game is right up there with other quick, fast, easy to learn, but highly strategic and intricate head-to-head two-player games. I put this up there with a Skulk Hollow and with Ragnarok's, that kind of game where you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it if you can play against another person regularly, and then if you also enjoy playing solo. But there you have it, folks. That is my initial impressions. Again, I'm going to say that one more time. I've only played this game a few times. I got it after the campaign was already live, but a very solid, strong first impression for me. I think if you are at all interested in those kinds of games that I talked about, then this is one that is probably going to be right up your alley. And I have to also throw out there, it's a small box. It's not big, so it's not going to take up a lot of space on your shelf. And it's definitely one worth checking out. And it's definitely a unique game. I do not have another game like this on my shelf. So there you have it, folks. That is So You've Been Eaten. As always, if I made any mistakes in the crazy broad rules overview, let me know in the comments with the timestamp. We'll get that into the Klingon subtitles. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.